to another video from Rail 150. A bit of a change for me, not something I usually do, but this is going to be an unboxing video. There's plenty of unboxing videos on the internet, possibly too many, but I've never come across this particular locomotive. This is the LNER Class Q6, which started life as an NER locomotive. They were built by Armstrongs in Newcastle, and also some were built in Darlington. So these are from my area, and I think this one particular 3418 was built in Darlington, being one of the later ones. I will check on the history of that. I should have checked before filming it really, but if I am wrong, I'll put it in the comments. Anyhow, the reason why I'm unboxing this is because you don't see this locomotive very often, and it's one which I needed in order to keep filming my Rail 150 scenario of the Cavalcade in Shildon of 1975, because this is one of the locomotives with this number that actually took part. So 3418 was there in 1975. Another thing about the Q6 which is quite interesting is how long it served. They were built, as we say, before the Big Four joined together in 1920, is it 24, 28? It's funny, you remember all these things, and when you film you forget. I'm sure somebody will know and correct. But when the Big Four amalgamated, the NER became part of the LNER, or London North Eastern Railway. So this is just a quick look at the Hornby Q6. And let's see what we get, and what I'll do is also tell you a little bit about where I purchased. But I'll just pause the video because I haven't got a tripod today. So I'll pause the video and I'll take it out of its sleeve. Okay, so this is what you get in the box. It's the very typical, what is now commonly referred to as the block of ice, which is a term often referenced by IC82 and Sam's trains. And I think it aptly does describe what we're looking at here. As usual, you got the instructions about how to fit DCC, because this is a DCC ready locomotive, not DCC fitted, and also how to fit brake parts which are accompany the locomotive in the detailing kit. So yeah, the usual information there, which is handy to have, but particularly of interest, as I will be DCCing the locomotive, is how this takes place, and thankfully it takes place in the tender. So in the tender there is a DCC socket which appears to be at the back of the tender. So that's good. I'm not going to sound it. I'll just put the chip in there. Okay. So looking at it, we get the detailing pack in there. So single-handedly, let me just slide this fella out. And here's the detailing pack. And in there we have brake rods, some close couplings by the looks of it, and delay steps, some items which I'm not really aware of, but certainly the close couplings might come useful for some people. There we go, that seems to be in focus now. Alright, so yeah, detailing pack is always handy, but with my children also using this and my 4-year-old, I don't think I'll be putting this on, but I'll certainly keep it safe for later use. So unusually on here, this locomotive opens by pulling that and then lifting the top off. So that's a bit of a change, because normally it wraps around and folds into the top here, so that's a bit of a difference. And there is the locomotive uncovered. It's a very nice locomotive. There's a lot of detail on there. What I'll do is put the light on the camera so we can see it in better detail, and I'll take it off the block of ice. Okay, so here is the locomotive with a little bit more light on. And trying to move closer in. There is a good level of detail on, and you'll see the wheels are very nicely detailed. Also the sandpipes, the valve gearing is very, very fine scale. The writing which is on there, which you could probably zoom in and see. I can't actually see it from here, but I think I could probably zoom in, so let's just see if I can achieve that. Great. Yeah. So there we are. What does that say? I wonder indeed. Let's see if we can get in focus. But it is amazing how they can get this writing. Armstrong. So okay, so this was built in Newcastle upon Tyne at the Armstrong factory. Brilliant. I mean, so how they get this on is a mystery to me, but I mean, it's fantastic that it's there, and it is amazing that you can actually read all of those numbers. So, I mean, it's possible to take a picture and then zoom in as well, just to double check. But it just adds to, you know, the pleasure of owning a model which has got such detail on. And I said I would tell you where I bought this. I bought it at Durham Trains of Stanley. I was on my way to Beamish Museum, which is close to where I live, and the Beamish Museum was so busy that day because it was a steam rally, and I didn't know that when we turned up. We just wanted to take the kids to the museum, and it was so busy that we just couldn't get in. So Durham Trains of Stanley was very close to Beamish, and I'd been there before. I'd bought a couple of things in the past, and I called in. And I got a very good price on this. He's a great guy who runs that shop. He's always trying to offer you the best possible deals. And I got this locomotive for £105. They retail for about 150, but generally you can get them for about 125. So it was still a good saving. So the detail of the locomotive is very good. The sprung buffers are on there. On the back, light is terrible because it's black, so it's quite hard to pick up. We can turn it around later. Separately fitted detail on top. Yeah, separately fitted whistles and valves for safety valves, and the separately fitted detail on the front. So you'll see the locomotive is a 080. Oh, I need to get a proper camera. It's a 080, and that's means that it was used for freight. So it's the NER's early sort of heavy freight locomotive. Does the top open? I haven't had a look at this. No, there's no sliding top on there on this occasion, but yeah, that is more than compensated for inside. There is detail in the cab, which is particularly hard to try to get, but I'll try and get that. So cab detail is very, very nice. Very nice cab detail inside, which really adds to the effect of the model. With the light on, it's a bit easier to see that light detail there. So now with the light on in the camera, let's zoom back. I was a bit reluctant to use the light because it kind of does affect the colour a bit, which is a very very good representation of LNER black. There's the detail of the back. The coal is nice. Detail of the coal is very realistic, possibly a bit shiny, but it is nice. It is removable as well, so you can take the coal out if you want to put some proper coal in. And at the front, the firebox, the smoke box, and the front buffer and the beam, again nicely applied, very crisp lettering, a reasonable level of detail on the smoke box as well, and overall a nice locomotive. There is glass fitted as well in the cab area, so that also means that it's one of their premium range, not a railroad range. So what I'll do is we'll put it on the track and just see how she runs. Alright, so I put the Q6 on my reverse loop, which is a closed loop when I change the points in such a way. And I'm just on a Bachmann controller this time, not the best controller, but it's pretty good. And I'm just going to show you, which is always of interest to people, how slow it can go. Yeah, not a brilliant start, but that's more probably to the fact that this bit of track needs cleaning. But once she gets going, she can go at quite a crawl. It will be improved on DCC, but this locomotive hasn't actually been run in as yet. So let me just send a coupler up to some rolling stock and we will see how she performs. So not a bad slow start. Got the new sleep coaches which I've ordered. And just to show that she's a freight locomotive, she's got some coal trucks and a Kellogg's truck at the back. So she's just going to go around this loop. Very, very quiet. It's a very quiet locomotive. The motor really just does purr. A little bit more speed. That's about as fast as I want to take it on this particular bit of track. Track flexing there needs to be fastened down and repositioned a bit. Okay, so let's just slow her down. Incidentally, the Q6 is now at the North York Railway, I believe. I think that's the one, but it's certainly a Q6 at North York Railway, and I think it is this. It's the same one that was used in the Cavalcade, but this numbering is not the same. But certainly the model is the same. So if you want to go and see the Q6, that's exactly where she is. Alright, so that's just a quick look at unboxing of the Q6. As I say, I'm not really into unboxing videos. I just really like this locomotive, and I couldn't see that anybody else had done it. I would recommend, if you wanted it, I would recommend the purchase of this locomotive. If you want a Q6, it's very, very high quality, beautifully smooth, although as we've seen it was a bit reluctant to get going with the track needing cleaning. But once it does actually once it is going, and we'll see how slow we can get it down. Remember, it is on a Bachmann DC controller, which aren't the very best. Even slower, slower. And it's got reasonable pulling power. She did pull 8 coaches previously. Very nice. Very, very slow as she disappears behind the hill there. Struggling on the points a tiny bit, and off she goes. Alright, so that's it for me for now. Incidentally, the number of the locomotive is there. R3424 LNER Class Q6, number 3418, in case you wanted to get one for yourself. Okay, and that's me finished for today. Have a great weekend and happy modelling.